instead of Thragtusk, it has Obsidian. And then a little bit less Vampire, a little bit more basically mono black control. Like it's, you know, with a nice little Blind Obedience Oblivion Ring splash. So kind of a mid-range black-white pseudo control deck.
Yeah, and I see they has Mutilate in there, so that pretty much takes you down the road of pretty much mono black S. It's playing against Lara Reynolds, who has we got a few aggro creatures here, Elvis Mystics and Pilgrims, the 1-drops, Voice of Resurgence. So a green-white, splashing red, oh not splashing red, excuse me, heavy red, Naya mid-range deck.
Yeah, just sort of good cards, right?
Good cards, right? And we've seen decks like this throughout the course of Standard, where you have the really efficient 1-drops and then the dual lands. There's so many dual lands around that you can play a turn 1 Elvish Mystic and still have mana to play Voice of Resurgence and even play like Boros Reckoners down the line because the mana is so good.
Yeah, so here we see turn 1 Elvish Mystic, turn 2 Voice of Resurgence. Reynolds advancing the board.
That's a card I see in Chris's hand, and for those who are watching, Chris VanMeter's a regular writer for Star City, pretty in it in the Standard scene. He has Blind Obedience here, which we're seeing come on the board. When that card was printed, I had high hopes for it. Kind of fell off my radar personally, but I think it has some pretty powerful implications later in the game.
It's still been used quite a bit in whenever you want ways to stop, like to slow down, like Hellrider, Thundermaw Hellkite, Aurelia, Falconwrath Aristocrat. And Reynolds has a fair number of those in this deck, right? Like,
yeah. So you got Thundermaw Hellkite and Aurelia in this deck. So Blind Obedience gets to do some splash damage. Chris obviously using it for both reasons. We have the Siphoning Life ability here with Extort, and we also have, like you said, stops those hasted guys. So Lara Reynolds is going to play Goreclan Rampager.
Is she just fire blasting him?
Yep.
Boom.
Take it. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like that play.
Yeah, if she doesn't have any, it looks like she doesn't have any spells she can play.
Right. Yeah. And Chris obviously playing black-white. You have to assume there's some Doom Blades in there. There's some Tragic Slips.
What do you think about Goreclan Rampaging there instead of just casting it? You do 5 less damage.
That's true.
But then you don't have a 4/4 in play.
Yeah, I guess, especially because you look at black-white. There's no Wrath of God or Day of Judgment, so it's pretty much Mutilate or bust. And I don't know if Lara's playing against Mutilate, because how many of us really see a Mutilate coming nowadays? So I think I probably would have casted it.
So she mortars the Vampire Nighthawk, and she's going to get in there for 3 more, putting VanMeter at 11.
Yeah.
At this point, if Reynolds really needs 1 more land, and because like from the looks of it, is her hand 2 Thragtusks, a Thundermaw, and an Aurelia?
Yeah, she is.
That's a lot of big action if she just hits 1 more land.
And those are the cards that have been typically pretty powerful against control decks. The cards like Thragtusk where it leave behind a 3/3. Thundermaw Hellkite's hasted, so a Lava Axe to the dome before you can even handle it, usually because you're tapped out. So she really needs to get the mana to cast these spells. So let's see if she hits it. And we draw, and it looks like a Huntmaster. Yeah.
It is a Huntmaster of the Fells.
Just going to cast Huntmaster.
Just going to put a little bit of pressure on Chris. The nice thing about the Huntmaster here is that VanMeter is going to be able to Doomblade it, but not before Reynolds gains 2 life and makes a token to help advance her board.
Right.
Now VanMeter's got to be using this Blind Obedience a little bit more. Oh no, he did. He did drain off the Nighthawk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to Doomblade main face here. I don't know if he has a Sign in Blood, a Doomblade, and I think, is that a Restoration?
Well, the alternative is he could just Sign in Blood and hope. No, I guess the Restoration Angel on your opponent's turn is just not worth it with Voice of Resurgence in play.
Yeah, Voice makes you play a little differently, and it's another card that when spoiled kind of scared me a little bit, but after playing against it, how frightened are you of a Voice of Resurgence?
Well, I fear nothing.
Okay.
So not particularly.
For those of us who are afraid of things like, snakes and spiders, lions, Voice of Resurgences, what can you tell the viewers at home? How can you comfort them in knowing the Voice is not going to be the end of your constructed playability here?
You can just play cards on your turn, or you can just deal with the tokens.
Okay. I like it.
So Doomblade killing Huntmaster of the Fells. VanMeter continuing to get a little bit of extra life from that Blind Obedience.
Right.
Give himself a little bit of a cushion.
And you see Osmodat in Chris's hand, and Osmodat's so sweet.
Oh, there's that
She's
5th
got
mana.
It. So we're going to see
things
some
are about to
fireworks
take
here.
things are about to take a turn.
Yeah.
Now, do you think she starts with the Thragtusk?
I would. Mainly because I want my board state to be a little protected. Thundermaw is so much better, obviously, when there's not a Death Touch Flyer out. Well, it taps it anyway. But I'd rather get my board out a little bit more so you can just swing with a huge attack with the Thundermaw. Blind Obedience, excuse me. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
I forgot about Blind Obedience there. So I guess Thundermaw or Thragtusk is just better.
It's just a more durable
Yeah,
threat.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not going to get any value out of the haste.
Yeah. So she's sending the voice in and a wolf. It's not going to net any damage. She's going to lose her voice. I think she
Just wants the elemental.
either wants the elemental, maybe she made a.
The tough thing here is if VanMeter wanted, VanMeter could have just blocked the wolf.
Yeah.
But
Because remembering VanMeter's hand, he doesn't have an answer to the big elemental, but I think the Death Touch Flyer and the Vampire Nighthawk might be good enough here. But then again, she can play the Thundermaw Hellkite, which deals a point of damage to the Nighthawk and taps it, so she can actually get a little bit of value out of that Thundermaw Hellkite.
yeah, I actually not so sure I would have killed the voice. I mean, that might have actually just been a sick play on Reynolds' part if she correctly anticipates, like if she believes that it is wrong for VanMeter to block that way and correctly anticipates that he will.
Yeah, because looking at VanMeter's hand, he doesn't really have anything he can do proactively against that threat about to hit the board here. Then again, of course, we have the benefit of seeing her hand, and we know the Thundermaw is coming. Well, let's see what happens here.
Obsidat is...
I love that creature. I think it's sad that Aetherling was printed because most of the control mages playing Esper that are listening, we all made the switch from Obsidat to Aetherling. But I think it's just a fantastic card. It's super sweet design on it.
It's definitely a lot of fun.
Definitely less wrath resilient. Sad part is. All right.
Aetherling seems like it'd be something just right up your alley.
Oh.
Or do you not like it because it's too obvious? It's too mainstream.
It's too mainstream.
hip?
Yeah, it's too hip. That's the hipster in me right now. Everybody's doing it, Pat. You can't do it.
No, and you know what? I agree with you. I was just playing some Esper Control at the coffee shop the other day while I was wearing a scarf, listening to the Postal Service.
Oh.
And we were discussing the finer nuances.
I'm more of a Dashboard Confessional fan myself.
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely. I can see how there'd be a huge difference.
There is
Yeah.
a significant difference.
Yeah, well, you know what? Dashboard Confessional's like Death Cab for Cutie, but has different people in it and different songs.
Right, yeah. You're right. You're right on there. Chris VanMeter attempts to attack with his Obsidat and realizing Blind Obedience doesn't give his guys Blind Obedience and haste here. So he's going to remove from game. I think Reynolds here is going to lay that Thundermaw Hellkite, tap that Vampire Nighthawk, and attack for a significant amount of damage here. What do you think?
5, 6, 7, 8, 13. I would consider 13 to be a significant amount.
Yeah, I like it.
No, it's only 12. I'm sorry, because you have to have the Mystic. She didn't draw land.
Okay. And thinking about it, if she would have played that Rampager, maybe might have had a little more damage throughout here, but then the whole gameplay would have been slightly, much different here. Oh, she's not going to do it. I don't think she might not see the play about.
No, she might also just be building up for an even harder hit next turn.
Maybe a coup de grace, if you will.
Yeah, if she plays does she have another Thragtusk?
I think
Not
so.
sure.
I know she had another big guy in her hand, either Thragtusk or is it a?
So this is 4 for 9. So this is a net loss of 7 to Chris, putting him at 8, and she loses a wolf.
Chris blinking that Osmond there was pretty dangerous because he has a second Osmond in his hand. So worst case scenario, if he trades with it. Oh yeah, she did.
Oh, so she wants to kill the Nighthawk.
Oh, okay.
She anticipates Chris taking 2 damage with his Nighthawk, and now the Nighthawk, rather than just be tapped, is straight up dead.
That's true. So we pretty much trade.
That's actually kind of sick.
It's sick, yeah. I mean, it's definitely one way you can go with it. It's definitely trading. You trade what 6 life to remove the Nighthawk permanently.
Yeah, it's really just a question of how does she think that the VanMeter is going to be interacting with her, you know?
Right. And looking at VanMeter's hand, I think I see land, Rescue Angel, Osmond. So we're at the point where we're not playing, we're not attacking with this Osmond. He could, because he needs 4 mana for the Rescue Angel.
5, because he's got a Blind Obedience too.
Oh yeah, he's got a Blind Obedience, you're right. Oh yeah, he's going to attack here and then blink it.
Yep. And the nice thing is with all these little incremental drains, VanMeter does have Reynolds down low enough that, he has hopes of trying to rally, try to pull something together. But he is definitely on the ropes. Because, even here, when he's going to Restoration Angel, draining Reynolds to 6, counting the Obsidat and the Obedience triggers. and then we'll be able to block 2 creatures, taking 6, going to 6.
Yeah, I like it.
But he could actually, he doesn't have to block the biggest creatures. He's got enough of oh, but you know what? Yeah, with the counting all the drains, VanMeter will be up to 13. So he won't actually, oh, wow. What do you think about not playing?
Oh, and I think she, maybe VanMeter Hollywooded a little bit. Oh, I forgot to blink my Osmodat. And to do this, because if you don't blink Osmodat, you 115% chance to have a Restoration Angel here.
Yeah, so but Reynolds has a Restoration Angel of her own.
So she can blink her Thunderbolt.
Yeah, what I was wondering is if she should have played her Averson's Pilgrim pre-combat just to make the Elemental a little bigger.
Yeah. She left 5 open too. So she has options here. She can either play Restoration Angel of herself. But that's not going to do much here, because then again, it just taps that Resto Angel. I think she's going to have just to let blockers.
Well, it does help, because what she can do, like depending on who blocks where. First of all, it'll increase the creature count to 5, so that the Elemental can actually kill Obsidat. And second of all, it can blink the Thundermaw to make sure that the Restoration Angel takes an extra damage.
Yeah.
Or just, blinking the Thragtusk so she gets a 3/3 and a ton of life, so that there's no counterplay.
And also,
I kind of like blinking the Thragtusk.
Yeah, because it actually makes it a 6/6 Elemental and trumps over the Osmodat.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually think it's going to be a pretty sick play. But she's got a lot of options to consider, because it does prevent 5 damage that would be dealt to VanMeter. So she's got to just figure out how can she how can VanMeter interact with her. What's important right now.
VanMeter has actually had recent success on the Open Series, winning an Open not too long ago. Him and Brian Braun-Duin are good pals and buddies, living in Roanoke, making some videos, Magic videos. Pretty much in the Magic scene as much as you can be. And they were big Junkrat guys. So this isn't much of a step away from Junkrat. She's subtracted a color here. Arguably one of the better ones.
So Reynolds decides to let her Elemental die to do the full 10 damage to VanMeter. What do you think about this play?
I think I think she was going with less damage last turn to advance her board state and killing the Nighthawk. I think she might want to stick to her guns though. Do you want to keep building board state?
But she's luring VanMeter into a trap here, right? Like VanMeter, if VanMeter has a removal spell, he's not going to be able to resist going for the kill.
Right.
And Reynolds blows him out with a Restoration Angel on Thragtusk.
That's true. We'll see if
now
Reynolds
here
has it.
Lara can just block, right?
Yeah. So we're going to blink here Thragtusk.
Now, remember, the Beast and the Angel and the Thragtusk are all going to come into play tapped.
Yeah, what did VanMeter draw? Did he draw a removal spell? I think he drew a Murder. No, Ultimate Price.
You did draw a removal spell.
Oh.
But it doesn't change,
She's actually she's dead, because if she plays Resto Angel, blocks Resto, takes 5, goes to 1, he actually has a second Osmodat, and he's going to kill her. Oh, he actually needs to siphon off the Blind Obedience here, so she needs to stop all damage. She needs to block all of it here. Because if she takes the Resto Angel and goes to 3, he can just play Osmodat and siphon for 3 damage. If she takes the Osmodat and goes to 1, he can just kill her with the Ultimate Price.
Well, she's about to gain 5 life.
He's going to Ultimate Price the Thragtusk in response, I believe. Which means he's going to negate that. So
yeah, what she really needed to do was just block Obsidat.
Right, and she can't actually block the Resto Angel again because of the Blind Obedience. Yeah, it's tough, tricky to see that.
And he had 1 card in his hand last turn, so playing around both Obsidat and a removal spell is a little weird.
This is actually going to be game over here. He's going to kill this, put her down to 10, and she's going to take 8, and go to 2,
for the kill.
And Obsidat for the kill.
Wow.
All right, so Reynolds sees the writing on the wall. She's going to scoop it.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I think that in a spot like that where she's ahead enough on board, I think you got to just go with the conservative play and Restoration Angel the Thragtusk on your own turn.
Yeah.
To devastate VanMeter's board and give her a nice comfortable life total.
Right, and actually I think we missed it too, because there's no advantage of wrestling on his turn because of the Blind Obedience, so you can't actually block anything.
Well,
everything comes back.
It does have the advantage of the surprise factor of get VanMeter to commit to something.
Yeah.
I just think it was a little too aggressive, because you're risking you're risking VanMeter having meaningful interaction, because he only has 1 card, he doesn't have the mana right now.
Right.
But if you wait to his turn, he gets another draw phase.
Yeah.
So.
Let's go ahead and take a look.
Plus, it costs so little. If you just Resto Angel, even if you don't blink your Thragtusk. If you Restoration Angel on your turn, you can kill Obzidot, which
Right.
is, you know.
Lots of different things you can do there, making it a 6/6, and then your elemental survives. A lot of different things that could have gone a little bit better for him. Let's see her sideboard. Her sideboard has Rourke Thar, the Unbound.
Well, the other issue is that he murdered the elf or the mana creature.
Right.
She can block Obzidot first,
Yes.
then flash the Thragtusk.
Yes. So yeah, there are different lines you could have taken that were much more safe, and
That just shows how much play there is in Standard on both people's sides. I mean, a number of great plays and a number of tough judgment calls on both sides.
right. Her sideboard looks like she's going to bring in a few things here. We have Rourke Thar, which is pretty good against VanMeter, I think. It's just good against any deck with a slew of spells here. He does have a lot of creatures, but I'm pretty sure this is just an auto sideboard against the spell decks. Doom Blading or Go for the Throating or, no, that's not legal, excuse me, Ultimate Pricing, a Rourke Thar is never a good thing. It still hurts pretty bad there to do.
Oh, well, what about Urgent Exorcism? So Urgent Exorcism kills Obzidot, but it also kills things like Blind Obedience, Oblivion Ring, and you never know, he might have things like Underworld Connections.
I think that's 100% coming in. I think she might actually bring in the Ray of Revelation as well, because how much of a thorn in her side that Blind Obedience was. I can see her bringing in one of Ray of Revelation.
Urgent Exorcism is kind of a sweet card. You don't see that one a lot.
No,
but
I
it's kind
love
of funny
that
that
card.
both sides are getting value here.
Yeah, the Urgent Exorcism was a kind of a phenomenon when Obzidot first came out because there are so few ways to kill it. You have Ultimate Price, which can't hit it. People are either playing Victim in the night or Urgent Exorcism if you're playing a black or white.
Dreadbore doesn't hit it. Disney Mortars doesn't hit it.
No, he dodges all kinds of stuff.
Supreme Verdict, Detention Sphere, all that.
Then they made Aetherling, which nothing can hit. You need a Pithy Needle and a lot of help there.
You know what's funny? It's hard to, like, if you know your opponent has sudden death, not even sudden death kills Aetherling.
Yeah.
If they know, if they know to not
play
pump.
around it. Yep. Take your four and like it.
Not a lot of things beat Aetherling.
What about on Chris's side here? What
Sudden
are we
Spoiling beats Aetherling.
It does. Sudden Spoiling does.
I remember U.S. Nationals a few years back. The national team ended up being like Michael Jacob, Sam Black, Paul Cheon. I think that was the team. And Sam Black was playing Cheon in the top 4 of the tournament, or top 8 or something. And they end up at a spot where Sam had done the classic shuffle his sideboard into his deck and then pull out 15 cards.
Professional, yeah.
And he missed one. Now he had the correct numbers, but
Right.
he definitely did. Like, so he's dead on board.
Yeah.
To Cheon, and Cheon has Cryptic Command, Permission, a Lethal Clock.
Yeah.
Everything is just. And Sam knows he's drawing stone dead. He has 0 outs. But rather than concede, he just draws his card, draws for the turn, and he draws his only out, which is a card he wasn't playing with.
Right.
Sudden Spoiling. Like, he wasn't supposed to even be playing Sudden Spoiling, but he had accidentally left it, accidentally had it in.
Yeah.
And so then he Sudden Spoils for the win, because then Cheon loses a turn and dies to his own Bitter Blossom. And so at this point, after Sam gets the win, and he's laughing, but after he gets the win, he wonders to himself, like, he tries to play it off. He's like, am I supposed to keep it in? Like,
Yeah.
So, like,
starting to question yourself there.
So then he pulls it out, of course, because at this point now he's going to play around it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the guy who's playing Sudden Spoiling.
Well, you planted the fear seed, and there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really brought that up as a dagger to me, because that's the top 8 I actually lost to Sam Black in. The only Nationals I ever top 8. Is that?
No, it
is that
certainly wasn't a
accidental?
dagger. No, I had no idea.
Oh, all right.
No, I was just thinking about the people who won.
The winners. Yeah, I wasn't in the winners. I actually was up, and I lost 3 in a row to be eliminated, and it was pretty painful.
What were you playing?
A blue-green ramp deck
Oh, cool.
with Teferi. I ramped into Teferi and then the Cloud Threshers, things that already had flash. It's a pretty good deck.
No. Did you splash red or no?
I splashed red for fire spell.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah.
remember that. That was actually a sweet deck.
Yeah, it was one that was made to beat the Fae, the menace, if you will. Had some Squall lines and some Cloud Threshers and some fun cards like that. Fire Spout, of course. So
Was Sam playing elves?
yeah,
Black-green
it
elves?
was the only matchup that was
Yeah.
actually my good matchup. It was my only good matchup in the day, and I somehow managed
There
to
were
lose
fairy
it, so-
decks in the top 8.
Yeah, there was a fairy deck with Shadow Mage Infiltrator.
That's a
rough.
nice one.
That's rough money right there. That's not a card that should
Took
be
out
in
the
fairies.
Scion of Unas and brought in Johnny Magic.
One of the masters of the game. Well, let's see. We got Chris VanMeter up 1 game against Miss Reynolds here. I think she's going to bring in things good against control, like we talked about, things that hit enchantments. I think VanMeter's got a few cards of his own here. He's going to bring in probably Liliana the Veil. I kind of like Liliana even against the aggressive decks. There's really no better feeling when they play a 2-drop, and then you go Liliana second guy, and stays in play. I don't know if I'm on an island with that one. I usually leave Liliana in against everything besides like Doom Traveler decks.
So it is tough though, because Reynolds has Elvish Mystic, Avacyn's Pilgrim, and Voice of Resurgence.
And Smiter.
All of which trump, and yeah, the Smiter of course for the discard, but there's a lot of cards in Reynolds' deck that completely trump the Liliana. Like, I do not want to go, like, even if Reynolds is on the play, I mean, if Reynolds goes on the play, Mystic into any creature, by the time you Liliana, you're hitting something that costs less than 3 mana and then losing your Liliana.
Right. I guess the only silver lining would be, since he has so much removal, spot removal, or he has multiple Tragic Slips and Doom Blades, he actually caps off, brings in more Doom Blades, another ultimate price. He would have to go spot removal spell into Liliana, and that's usually the line that you want on the play. I agree completely.
Even that doesn't work though.
Against Voice of Resurgence,
right? Like, just because Elvish Mystic into a spell on turn 3. Well, Reynolds is on the play.
Yes. So
Reynolds is going to have 3 plays by the time you can play a Liliana.
I agree, yeah. Liliana on the play would be a lot better. He has Sever the Bloodline, Doom Blade, Ultimate Price, so expect to see a lot of VanMeter spot removal this game. When it comes to Wrath effects, he's still maxed out at his 2 Mutilates. He doesn't have any additional on the sideboard. So if Reynolds knows VanMeter's list, which I doubt she does because I don't think this is a super popular deck, she should not be that afraid. There's only 2 Mutilates, only 2 board sweepers.
Plus Fear is just really not that good of a strategy.
Right.
So,
well, maybe playing around would be a better word.
Should have played around it.
Had is a very popular line here. So we got Reynolds here with the Pilgrim turn 1, but no 3 mana spell.
You know what? Yeah, she's got all the colors of mana though, so I got to imagine that turn 4 is going to be a good one. Looks like her hand's got some 5-drops in it though.
Yeah.
Thragtusk, Thundermaw, Hellkite.
She has a Boros Charm on the far right here, which is obviously a control killer. It's real rough when you go to Doomblade. It becomes indestructible in combat. Hopefully VanMeter, when he's removing things from the board, he'll know to play around a card like that. So VanMeter, land, control, favorite starts, we're not playing much here. Looks like we have a Guildgate, very potent dual land. Guildgate I kind of don't like here because I guess he's only running 2 Mutilate and you kind of need the fixers. It's just kind of rough when you're playing, you want to give all those creatures -4/-4 on turn 4. Because right now that Mutilates for a potent 1.
Yeah, I mean he's only playing 11 white mana sources.
Yeah.
How few do you want him to play?
Let's go with the bare minimum. We got a Thragtusk on the other side here. Might become a victim of night here.
So Thragtusk gaining Reynolds 5 life. She's up to 25 and has a Beast, a Pilgrim, and enough mana to deploy 1 big threat every turn for the next couple of turns.
Yeah. Naya is one of those decks where if you don't have it in your hand, pretty much if you draw those 5-drops, once you hit that 5 mana threshold and you're just top decking them, it's pretty tough to beat. Especially being on the other side of that, you really feel it. On the side of Planeswalkers, though, she's at 4 Domrad, so she doesn't have Garruk and the more expensive ones, but she has these guys here. He's like a Planeswalker, right? Comes in, kills some flyers.
This guy's about to get Doombladed, though, right?
Yeah, he's going to. It's not long for this world. Like we talked about prior to the game, VanMeter is a spot removal central right now. He's just going to be killing.
Do you think by VanMeter just Restoration Angels and blocks the Beast?
Much better, yeah.
Just to get ahead on board?
Yeah.
Didn't even see that he had the Angel, but...
Yeah. Restoration Angel, obviously, even without cards to blink, is so good. It's such a great card because there's so many 3/3s in this format. And it just kills it, and you keep your guy, has a lot of value entwined in it. So we're going on the offensive here. Reynolds taking 3, going down to 22. VanMeter pondering his decision here. See a couple land, a Doomblade, and an Oblivion Ring, I believe, and a Nighthawk. Land, Doomblade, Oblivion Ring. Nighthawk is his hand, so all the removal in the world.
Uh-oh. Are we about to see Thundermaw Hellkite get Doombladed and then Boros Charmed?
It's a possibility. I hope.
Although Vampire Nighthawk is threatening to block the Thundermaw.
That's true. I hope she plays that voice first because you want that defense here on your turn. You're gonna have to respond in Doomblade first now.
Uh-oh. Absolutely. And now if we have a Doomblade in response, Borosharm's going to be huge.
Yeah.
This is...
Oh.
Oh, no.
She elects to have her Hellkite slain here. She has a white from her Pilgrim. And so
Yeah,
the white
so needed the Avacyn's Pilgrim and a Rootbound Craig.
All right, so VanMeter is going to go back to his turn. I think he just added a land to his repertoire of spells here. Oh no, Disciple of Bolas. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think VanMeter is about to run away with this game.
Yeah.
You think he sacrifices the Restoration Angel to the Disciple, just draw a bunch of cards, gain a bunch of life, and
I think 100% he's going to do that. Yeah. Such a powerful card in this deck. It seems like black has more card draw than blue does. Seems like it.
that's only because he's playing black and he's not playing blue.
Yeah. He's drawing a lot more cards than we do, unless you're tapping X here. All right, we got Disciple here. He's going to go with what you suggested, I believe. He's going to primarily cast spells on his turn. Nobody wants to see Voice of Resurgence tokens popping up anywhere. So 3 cards, 3 life.
All right. Do you think we're going to see an Oblivion Ring on the Voice, or do you just wait? Figure, you know what, the Voice isn't even doing anything right now. Let's just hang out, save the Oblivion Ring in case he plays something, in case Reynolds plays something that he actually needs to deal with.
Yeah, I think Chris has one answer to Domri, and I think he needs to hold back for that.
He's got 2 in his hand.
Oh, he does have 2. Oh,
he has Needle
and Needle.
Yeah.
I saw the Needle. Oh, Needle. So, I mean, he can actually, he has the liberty to do whatever he wants here. I don't think there's any wrong play. He can be conservative and wait, which he's going to do. He might have already played his 6th land too, so he might not be able to play the Oblivion Ring.
I think he wants to wait anyway. Just save it for a card that's relevant, you know.
Right,
Because
yeah.
right now he's got control over the board. He's winning. Who knows? Like if Rorik Thar or Aurelia or Thundermoths, you know, if a couple of those start hitting,
Yeah.
he could start falling behind. So saving Oblivion Ring for one of the boom booms is certainly the conservative way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so Nighthawk connects, life swaps. Nothing better than having a full hand against a Naya mid-range deck than saying go with 6 mana open.
Desecration Demon. The hits continue.
Yep, big boys. In this deck, it seems like it can really run away with things, especially when you have cards like Restoration Angel with a Disciple of Bolas in play. I mean, he can blink that. If he draws one, he can draw 6 cards on a demon, gain 6 life, and it just seems like you can pretty much build your own Sphinx of Revelation. It takes a few more cards to do it, but you can do something similar. So Reynolds is nodding, not the happiest. Looks like she has added a Cavern of Souls here to the mix. The only non-basic land at this point that's going to give her some punch here is a Kessig Wolfrun. She's got a couple of those in her deck.
Yeah, I think in order for Reynolds to turn this around, there's really got to be a lot of big hits pretty quickly. Step 1 might just have to be Fiend Huntering the Desecration Demon.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to be able to sacrifice, you know, offerings to it for long.
Absolutely. She does, however, have excellent penmanship. I've been looking at her list here. It's very nice.
I think, yeah, it looks like the only answers to Desecration Demon in the 75, the only realistic answers are the Fiend Hunters. So we're definitely at a spot where things are kind of drawing pretty thin, you know?
Yep.
And VanMeter just has such a big board presence. We're definitely... Things are too far to be able to chain together haste creatures and burn spells.
Right. Definitely would rather be in VanMeter's seat at this point.
Wow, VanMeter every turn drawing another boom boom.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Reynolds stuck drawing land.
Yeah, these creatures are all just super powerful. Reynolds drawing a couple land in a row is detrimental. Even there's a Gorklant Rampager she draws here. It's just not enough against this series of cards that Chris has in play.
Yeah, I mean, like she knows she needs an answer to Desecration Demon while there's still time, and Nose doesn't have very many, so just playing to the outs.
Yep.
Just trying to sacrifice a few things to the demon, make sure that she has enough life so that in the event that she draws a Fiend Hunter in the next 2 turns, that that she still has enough life to hope to draw other cards to beat the Nighthawk and the Disciple.
She has, with an attack here, she has 12 damage. That's half of Chris's life.
Yeah, but I mean, she's debating it, you know, but I think that you got to just play the defensive game.
Yeah, I think she's pretty much stuck here. It's kind of funny. You look at a hand like that, and a lot of times you can count these 9 decks out. Obviously, Chris gained a lot of life. But think about it in a match where it's more slugfest here, and Chris is at maybe 9 or 10, and all she has is a voice out. She can just dish 12 in one attack. It's pretty potent. In a different world, of course.
By using the Gore Clan Rampager for +4 to the power of the voice, and then Boros Charm can actually double strike to make it a full 12.
Definitely could pack a punch. So Chris is just full of spells here. Things to play a Blind Obedience. That probably will lead to an Oblivion Ring pre-combat here, just to finish her off, I think. Once he plays Oblivion Ring on the Gore Clan Rampager, that will be lethal damage, because she will have to then sack voice to the... Oh, it won't be lethal. It'll be close. Because the voice... Oh no, he would actually have to Oblivion Ring the voice.
Yeah, actually, this works.
Then,
yeah, like, because... Or you can Oblivion Ring the Rampager, because the token is going to come into play tapped.
Yeah, oh yeah, because of Blind Obedience, absolutely. So she's put it in the graveyard. I guess it's pre-combat? Yeah, it's pre-combat. And then, so we're in combat, so now it's going to be tapped, like you said.
Points out the token is tapped.
And then we'll pay 2 here, Tragic Slip, which will kill it. You know, you can try to Boros Charm, but sadly it's -13. You cannot indestructible a -13, -13.
Packs it in. Oh no.
Soon.
Yeah, I think VanMeter sees this game is over this turn anyway, and is...
just that guy. Everybody.
Yep. Swings with the team. And Chris VanMeter has won 2 games to 0 with black-white control versus Lara Reynolds. Extends the hand.
All right, well, you see the deck in action, and it plays like I guess a little differently than a normal control deck, because it's really
got a lot more boom booms.
A lot more boom boom, and also a lot more, like you said, creatures. And just every turn he played a creature. I think there are, let's see, there's 6, 9, 11, 14, 17 creatures in this control deck, where the average control deck is packing, 4 to 8, if you will.
I don't think that's actually true. I think the average deck you build with control plays 4 to 8. Isn't
that what everybody plays, my decks?
Isn't the average control deck like Augur of Bolas, Snapcaster Mage, Restoration Angel, and maybe like a couple Thundermaulers or something? So there's like 12.
I think now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about Grixis? I mean, there's